Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Fuck ice. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. Going to another DC Vertigo one. This is 100 Bullets, subtitled The US of Anger, and it's an odd one. Simply because in this store, this very tiny little North of England comic book store, it is the only one of the new DC Vertigo lines which hasn't had a single person subscribe to it ahead of time. Now, we've sold quite a few copies, which is great, but I was kind of curious as to why that would be, and I was looking at what's been coming out and why this one might stand out. And it's the only one that is like revisiting an older thing. You could kind of make the claim for Nice House by the Sea, but that's continuation of Lake, which was literally not that long ago, and it felt like it meant they had something good to go on the marketing for Vertigo. This is a proper return to classic. And as much as I'm like, yeah, cool, I like the idea of doing this, I really quite liked 100 Bullets. There's a lot of stuff that Azzarello and Russo have done together that has been fantastic. I'm going to include recent things and a fantastic run of Hellblazer on that list. But sometimes I think people who really enjoy DC Vertigo stuff kind of forget that not everything was golden. Now, don't get me wrong, 100 Bullets was good. I mean, it won like an Eisner and I think a Harvey. But it never made as much impact outside of the comic book world, which is a shame because it absolutely has prestige TV format written all over it. But for some strange reason, it never quite, well, not some strange reason, America apparently has absolutely no problem doing very, very little at all to stop mass shootings, but doesn't like putting TV or movies out there which, like, oh, look, mass shootings are bad. It's a weird country. But for this particular case, I was trying why the people who would have been into it, and there were some of our customers get like the collections, the new editions of 100 Bullets, and all I can think is, I don't know, maybe there's something about, for people who might not have really understood 100 Bullets, there's a little bit of a power fantasy idea behind it, and this one doesn't look like it's going to go that way. It looks like it's going to go in a very, very different route. Not that, like, 100 Bullets, the original series, didn't go in very different routes and did far more interesting, more exciting things with the core concept than just power fantasy. But this one is like putting that on Front Street, I think, and I don't mind that at all, especially because quite a lot of this first issue is about power. I mean, it's called the US of Anger. I mean, USA is one of the most powerful countries in the world, and it is also a messed up place. And numerous story beats throughout, we are encountering people who either have power, think they have power, or don't understand power. It could be kids who've joined a gang because, I mean, I'm not going to go into full details about why young people of colour join gangs. Take a look at me. But I have done some reading on the subject and I've listened to people who know more about it than me, and it is a sense of power. It makes you feel strong, it makes you feel protected, it gives you, to their mind, a better chance of survival against state power, which we also see here. We do see the police, which, although, they have the power because they have the state monopoly on violence, they're also not that powerful. Like, they can be dismissed very quickly and very easily. Public opinion can occasionally take against them, but they also end up with absolute craploads of money and equipment because governments see this show of power as a way to reinforce their power, or reinforce power of capital, should we say. But then we also see what can go badly wrong when people misunderstand how much power they've got. But the biggest one is the white power of it all. And oh yes, thank you, Brian Azzarello, for doing this story arc. Really enjoyed this, because we get to see two white power podcasters, and it feels very of the moment, and it is brilliantly done. These are people who absolutely, fundamentally believe they are better than anyone else because of the colour of their skin, but have the biggest victim complex ever, which weirdly plays into the idea of the amount of power that white people have in countries like America and this country, but maintain it by claiming they don't have power and the power has been taken away from them and they deserve to have the power. It is a very, very nice show of how messed up that balance needs to be. There's other little beats going on there throughout, but that's the through line I saw in it, and I loved it for that. Genuinely enjoyed this first issue, and it looks amazing. It feels like this is Russo doing his best Frank Miller, and when I say that, I mean it as nothing but a compliment, because Miller's artwork isn't as good as it used to be. I think doing something like this, going for just black and white and totally understanding how to use negative space, keeping the action beats brilliant but not focusing on it if it's not necessary, not being gratuitous about it, dropping those splashes of other colour in, but again, not being gratuitous about it, using it for story, not for sensation. I mean, like, no notes, genuinely fantastic, and it's a really good issue one. It sets up just enough about the world that we're going to be in without bombarding you with trivia or lore dumps, and leaves it open for how whatever happened at the end of the 100 Bullets last run leads into this. We get to see that. We get to go along for the ride and find out. And I think it's genuinely a really, really good start. And I hope some of the people who picked up issue 1 see that as well and give this a proper go, because I think it's absolutely worth it. That's it for me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.